Hi there, my friend. Today we're going to take a nice close look at Abeka's 8th grade history curriculum. So let's go ahead and get started. If you want to see what comes in the science, in the language arts, or in the arithmetic, make sure to check the previous videos that I have shared with you before. All right, so first I am going to begin with the work text so you get an idea of what are the topics that are going to be covered. Now with Abeka, it is a spiral approach. So these topics have been touched previously in previous grades. As the years go, they add more and more into specific topics and they go deeper in. So for 8th grade is America, Land I Love, and it's all with a Christian perspective. Now the contents for Unit 1 is Exploration and Settlement in a New Land. So Unit 1 has 5 chapters. Chapter 1 is A New World to Explore. Chapter 2, The First English Colonies. Chapter 3, Founding the New Colonies. Chapter 4, Life in Colonial America. And Chapter 5, Preparation for Independence. Then Unit 2 is Birth of the United States. So Chapter 6 is Home of the Brave. And Chapter 7 is Land of the Free. And Unit 3 is Building an American Character. So one thing that you're going to see, like Chapter 8, it has a title, but all these are individual lessons in that chapter. So, for example, over here, Unit 1, Exploration and Settlement in the New Land, has a total of 5 chapters. Within those chapters, there's these lessons. For Chapter 1, there's a total of 4 lessons. So, setting the stage, exploration of America, Spain in the New World, and France in the New World. Okay? So that's the setup for that. It's very similar to the setup in arithmetic and the setup in science as well. So Chapter 3, Building an American Character. Chapter 8 is From the Appalachians to the Rockies. Chapter 9, The Jacksonian Era. 10, Innovations and Inventions. 11, Revival, Education and Culture. 12, Expansion into the West. And then Unit 4 is Times of Testing and Triumph. So Chapter 13 is the Civil War and the Reconstruction. Chapter 14 is Age of Industry. 15, Growth in America. 16, in the 20th century. Unit 5, now we are more in present time, so times of challenge and promise. So Chapter 17 is in war and in peace. So here's where they're going to do World War I, unsettled peace, the roaring 20s, affirmation of biblical truth, political in the 20s. Chapter 8 is the rise of big government. Chapter 19, a world at war. Chapter 20, post-war America. Chapter 21, a time of testing. Chapter 22, eve of the new millennium. Chapter 23, into the new millennium. And Chapter 24, challenges and opportunities. Okay, so like it talks about the Trump administration, COVID-19, and then the Biden administration. And then there's a reference section over here where is the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Gettysburg Address, U.S. presidents, political and physical maps, the United States capitals, praying for government officials, and current events. So the layout, it shows you how to use the text, but the layout is very similar to the previous work text in other subjects. So again, you're not getting used to a new format. It's all very familiar. So we have the highlights, we have some timelines over here, some art, drawings or maps, photographs and such. And then at the end, there's usually a section review as well. So, there's a Chapter 1 review. So that's history, Grant over here, president profile. It gives you a little bit of the president at the time, Hayes, all that fun jazz, Booker T. Washington, dedicated life. Big rise in government towards the end. You can kind of see enjoying family time in the 1930s, the Depression era, Roosevelt, all this stuff. Franklin D. Roosevelt, all of Europe. These look, like familiar pictures, more modern times. This one over here, Truman, and Lyndon B. Johnson, General Ford, Jimmy Carter. So more modern time stuff. Okay, here we go, Reagan, you know, so the presidential profile, the tragedy in space, all these things that are more modern come towards the end. COVID-19 pandemic is included in here. So the closures is just, I can't believe that's part of a history book now. The Biden administration, the profile on the president. Okay, and then that's the end. And then here are, Declaration of Independence, the reference pages, and all that fun jazz. Okay, so that is the content in the work text. Now, with this, we have other workbooks that come as well. So there's the civics activity book, which in this particular case, is, the flag, all that fun jazz. Presidents, the current president that we have now, the vice president. So it's pretty much so that the students can fill out the stuff with their current things that are happening. So this right here is important. It's a state study. I know for our state in Pennsylvania, there needs to be a component where we study the Pennsylvania, okay? So this is the state study part, which to me is really good. So they did, I know in 4th grade my son did a state book. Woo, that scared me. So I know in 4th grade my son did a whole state book. This is just kind of like a smaller version of that. And you put the location, the symbols, all that fun jazz. The song, the wildlife. So is all good and important. It's done so that you can fill it in yourself, your state government, then your county, like where you live. So this is very tailored local history, to your state. And then in the back, it has all the different profiles for all the states. The geography activity book is the studies and the projects. So these have all the maps. The different studies, let's see. So the Western Hemisphere, North America, Canada, United States, Eastern United States, Central United States, Western United States, Pacific United States, Mexico, Central America, West Indies, and South America. And then the projects they have them on page 34. That's where they begin. Okay, so these are just like maps, which is really important, and like fact sheets. Okay, so you get all your maps. And then you get the different projects to do with them, okay? So the fast facts. So you can use the maps on the other side to kind of, if your child needs this additional practice, they can fill it in as well. History is divided into volume 1 and volume 2. And one thing that I love is that now they have the quizzes and the tests in one section and is done chronologically, which is typically how I absolutely love it. The only one that I've noticed this year that has not come like this is the science one. So I'm gonna have to go in manually and do them. But everything else came like this. So it makes me so happy. So let me show you what I mean, okay? So there is quiz 1 for section 1 through 4. Quiz 2 for sections 2.1 to 2.2, quiz 3, 3.1 to 3.3, and then the test on all 3. Okay, easy? So when it comes to organizing this, it's gonna be super easy. And then all I have to do is rip, hole punch, and put in the notebook. No peppering things throughout. So that makes my heart so happy. Yay! Okay. So that's what those tests and quizzes look like. Again, similar format, matching, multiple choice, completion, multiple choice, short answer, modified true or false, and geography. Geography is always part of every single test, which is amazing. Now, the quizzes are usually nice and short. Okay, 10 questions. So that is everything that comes included in Abeka's 8th grade history.